So here we are, probably in a first for the WSL with a married couple playing in the football team together. Is that a first?
I think it might be, yeah. It's first half year.
Thanks so much for inviting us in. I think, is Betsy happy with us being here, do you think?
Yeah, she looks pretty happy. She gets free strokes.
You obviously really like spending time together because as well as being on the same team, you've started a business.
I think we've always had a bit of a dream to own a coffee shop.
All right.
I think that was the ultimate dream, and I don't know, has these random ideas where she wants to go camping and things, and
okay.
Yeah, and I thought, well, if we bought a vintage van, which is what you wanted to do in the first place, we thought we could maybe transform it into a little mobile coffee shop, and we thought we could practice on the van first and see sort of.
So who does what?
I don't do much, to be honest. I am front of house.
Right.
Yeah.
I take the orders. I was in charge of social media, but Amy seems to have taken that over too. So my role is very limited at the minute.
No.
But Amy
has the social media improved since you took it over?
We've had a few new followers,
and we've lost a few. So.
Yeah. All right. Net.
Yeah.
And you got married in the summer. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
So tell us about that. Did I hear you eloped?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
Did you actually not tell anyone?
We told our mums and our sisters, didn't we?
Yeah.
But other than that,
but you didn't invite them?
No.
No one was invited.
No, we wanted it to just be an intimate ceremony, and I think we'd both spoken about getting married before, and I think we had the same idea of what the day would look like, quite relaxed and just us two. We wanted it to be, really special in that way, and the day itself, we were just by the pool, just by the pool, having a few drinks, reading our books, had the music on, and we're like, oh, we're getting married later.
In 3 hours, you best go and get ready.
Yeah.
That's nice, though.
Yeah.
So were you? So you were somewhere hot then?
Yeah, we were in Key West in Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was. I wouldn't want it to be any other way. I think it just speaks volumes of us, of what, the way that we went and got married, and we turned up in a little pink buggy that we had our hair done before.
Was it vintage?
It was vintage, yeah.
Of course,
yeah.
What is it like working with your wife?
We get on so well as friends, and when we're working, we just have so much fun in the van. It is, and we get to meet loads of new people, and and at training, to be fair, we don't really speak to each other.
Yeah, that's
right.
Probably the main point, is that we go into training and we kind of both can go our separate ways. We get on with everyone, but we do have our different friendship groups.
Right.
Which definitely does help, but then also it's like a comfort blanket, I guess, that having each other there too. I guess there are challenges to it, of course. Sometimes one of us are playing and the other one's not. Sometimes we pick up injuries, or one will play well, one might not play as well. So it's like trying to get the balance right of keeping work and life separate, I guess.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you've played in a team together?
We first met both playing for Notts County.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so that's where we met. And then we hadn't played on the same team together until...
Orlando Pride,
yeah.
I think that was the most challenging part when we first got together, was, seeing how decisions were made, and maybe you didn't agree with one, you didn't agree with how each other were getting treated. You have to try and put that aside, and when you're at football, we're individuals, and we get treated as individuals, rightly so, and that's what we want. We're both there to do a job, and that's the most important thing, is, playing for Spurs, doing the best we can in our work environment, and then when we come home, we have a completely different life, which has taken a lot of time, but we're there now, I think. So Notts County went into administration.
Yeah.
Which was a really difficult time, probably one of the hardest challenges I guess we've faced within the game.
Yeah, it was out of the blue. I think it happened the day before the season was due to start.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so we were I was injured at the time. I had a long-term injury, which brought about its challenges as well, knowing I was injured, and we were all, 20 of us, fighting for a club then. The day before the season started, with maybe a week of the transfer window left to sign for someone. So, yeah, I mean, luckily Liverpool took me on, knowing my injury, and then Has went down to Yeovil. So it was a big. It was
That's
tough on the
'cause
relationship.
that's the end,
yeah.
other ends of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd gone from, basically living together to the opposite ends of the country,
Yeah.
really. So then, about 6 months maybe, and then you got the opportunity to move back up north to Everton, and so we were,
So back in the same city,
rivals.
good.
Yeah.
But rivals. Did you play against each other?
My first game back after my injury was against Everton for Liverpool. It was a friendly, but they're never friendly.
How did that feel though? Because you must have been worried if she was coming back from an injury.
We didn't actually were on the pitch at the same time in that game, but to see the struggles and everything that Amy'd been through, at one point you even got told that you might not play football again. So the emotions on that day,
right,
were, I can't even describe it, because I was so focused on Amy just getting through that game and making sure that she was okay and her injury was fine now. So it was nice that we didn't actually come against each other, because I don't actually know how that would have turned out. And as you know, Amy puts in strong tackles, so I would have stayed. I would have stayed miles away from her. But it was mixed emotions on that day. But we have actually faced each other since then, which was always hard, because when we were at separate clubs, if you don't play against each other, you would, you'd speak about your week, you'd say, how training's going, you'd speak about football. The lead up into that week, we didn't speak often, because it was really hard to...
Because it's like you're going to try...
What could you say, what couldn't you say?
Okay, yeah.
You didn't want to talk tactics, you didn't want to even say if you were playing. It's nice to be back on the same team now.
How did you get into football?
I used to play rugby. Growing up in Wales, it was the sport. My dad was a coach, and I got to about 8, 9, and I had to balance football and rugby. So I would go to rugby, change in the car and go to football. So at about 10, 11, when I had to stop playing rugby, I took football a little bit more seriously.
And why did you have to stop?
I couldn't play with the boys anymore.
Right.
So I played with the boys, and rules changed, and I couldn't... there wasn't many female teams around at that time. So I concentrated on football, because there's a lot more girls' football teams. And I guess I fell in love with the sport.
Yeah, like Haz was saying, being a professional football wasn't a viable option growing up, so I looked up to probably men's players. And with the thought in the back of my head that if I wanted to be professional, then I would have to go to America and play over there, because... big fan of Bend It Like Beckham.
It's a really seminal film, wasn't it?
Yeah, and at that time, a lot of girls my age were going over to America on scholarships to play football. So I left when I was 17 to go to New York and play out there, and loved the experience, met loads of great people.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because we're still in a moment where there's almost like a hybrid, where you've got girls now who are starting quite young and going on to professional contracts, but loads and loads of players who couldn't have dreamt of it and are now professional players. I
know, I feel privileged in a way to have seen both sides. I think to see how far the game's come since, being 16, 17, being a scholar at Arsenal, to now where majority of the teams are professional. Yeah. It's amazing to see how far the game has grown in such a short space of time, really. And it's exciting to see, how far it can continue to grow. That's the thing I think you find in women's football, is the passion and the pride that everyone has. I think to juggle so many jobs and still be able to perform on match days, still be able to be a mum or, juggle other jobs around. It's crazy to see, because some people don't see that. They don't realise that it's different to men's football. And we've still got a long way to go, but it has been really nice to be on this journey and to see how far we've actually come.
Tell me your thoughts on the Rainbow Laces campaign.
It's visible now. There's been such a social shift in a way. And I think that was the main thing, is changing mentalities, and to create a safe space that people can be themselves and who they want to be. And I think it's been important, and the Rainbow Laces campaign has been so successful, in my view, that it has changed a lot of people's lives, and a lot of people within sport, but also people have come into the sport because of, you know, of what they've seen and experienced, and they can feel like they can be themselves, and that's been really important for me and for us to see over the years.
The laces were brought into the change rooms for everyone to wear, and you can just tell how sort of iconic and embedded in the sport it is now, because not one person said, oh, what's this for, what we're doing this for, you know. You just associate it with the campaign.
Excellent. And I can see you're wearing a Proud Lilywhites badge there as well.
I know, yes.
Which is like obviously something very close to my heart.
Yeah, I don't know what the players are like, but you know, in the game, and you just look over and you can see the flags and just what it means, the meaning behind everything. And
we're just one big group, aren't we? Empowering people and making it visible so people can see that they are accepted. And I think the most important thing for me is it sparked conversation too. I think you see the rainbow laces, you see the flags, and it just might take a conversation with someone to help somebody. And, you know, if we can help just that one person to find a way to come out, or to find a way to feel like they're being listened to. And, you know, we're just, like I say, we're one big family, and it's been nice.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been really great to chat, and great to meet Betsy wherever she's
Wherever she's
found herself now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.